What's up, guys? It's Lando. You can follow me on Twitter at LandoFF. You can follow our main accounts at Snap_Fantasy on Instagram and Twitter. And I'm here to talk to you about the Kings Millionaire Maker Slate. I'm going through a ton of games this episode. Last week I hit it off good. My plays that I told you to play was Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Adam Thielen. I also played a lot of Aaron Jones in all those lineups. That's kind of my strategy so far this year. Play 3 quarterback and 2 options from a team that I think is going to do well, and then bring it back with a pass catcher or a running back from the other team. You have to have a high over-under. You have to pick right, but that's going to be a strategy where I like to do it in tournaments. I'm going to give you plays that I think are going to be very viable in tournament formats. They're going to be a little bit higher risk. This week is all about strategy because you don't want to play all the players that really boomed week 1, and you want to play some of these guys that really underperformed, especially if they were highly owned in DraftKings. You want them to kind of be on your lineup again and be low owned so that you could win that $1 million all by yourself. So we are playing the $1 million slate, which is the 1 p.m. and the 4 p.m. games. So there's some games that aren't going to be on this list, but I'll give you some examples. Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City, LA, Detroit, Green Bay, Atlanta, Dallas, Buffalo, Miami, Carolina, Tampa Bay. Those kind of games are what I'm going to focus on today, because these are the tournament plays, the chance you can win $1 million, and that's what I'm focusing on here. So at the quarterback position, my plays, you know what, it might surprise you, but I might pay up this week for quarterback. I kind of think that people will go away from Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is a really good play against LA. I like the stack with CEH and Tyreek Hill. Now, it's very possible he's highly owned because he's Patrick Mahomes. He's the highest paid quarterback in the league. But I kind of like that play. I think people are going to go to Aaron Rodgers again. He's only $6,900. They play Detroit. Devontae Adams, I know we're skipping ahead here, but he is still only $8,100. And that's a really good price for the highest scoring wide receiver of the week last week. Michael Thomas used to be around 10 or 9K when he's healthy. So, spoiler alert, he's going to be another good play. Dak Prescott, they play back at home. They play Atlanta. That's going to be a great matchup. Russell Wilson just killed the Atlanta defense. And I think that's a really good game stack again. So if you play Dak, Zeke, and I like Gallup as the third option, and then bring it back on Atlanta side with Russell Gage, maybe? I mean, I know that Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones is a great option, but then you're paying up a lot for those options. So I might kind of like Russell Gage as the bring it back option there. Josh Allen at Miami is a good matchup. I'm going to fade that one. I'm actually looking at maybe the Miami defense. Hopefully Josh Allen turns the ball over. I know that could be a really bad option, but last week I played the Washington defense, the lowest price defense of the week, and that paid off in dividends. So obviously Matt Ryan is a good play. I'm not going to play Matt Ryan though. I'm not going to play Tom Brady. Deshaun Watson against Baltimore, I'm not playing. I don't mind Big Ben, but I haven't had him put in my lineups. I think Kyler Murray is going to be the one that's going to be very, very, very popular. I like Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be great. I will play him in a couple lineups, but in maybe say 40 to 30% of my lineups, I'm going to play Kyler, and the rest I'll kind of sprinkle in. So I guess that's a pretty high amount. They play Washington. I think that's a great matchup. Last but not least, I could play Phillip Rivers. That's going to be my low end play this week, where they play Minnesota. You want to pick on that Minnesota defense. That's what I did last week with Aaron Rodgers. Phillip Rivers is only $5,900. You can stack him with Paris Campbell and Jonathan Taylor. That's a great stack this week. And then if you want on the Minnesota side, bring it back with, you can go Thielen again, but this week I'm thinking about Dalvin Cook, and I'll bring it back with Dalvin Cook on a lineup. So that's what I'm looking at to start with. Those are my quarterback plays. I'm going to do a live lineup at the end of the show. After all, I go through everything, and I will talk you through how I make my lineups as well. If you want to see what I play, I'll play a Millionaire Maker lineup, and maybe we could split $1 million. So this week, I'm not playing the top two, McCaffrey or Barkley. If you want low ownership, I think Barkley is the way to go. He's going to be super low owned. He's a guy that after a really bad week one, he's the guy that you play in Chicago. Their defense is overrated. He's going to be a good play. But the two, we'll go, the next four are the running backs I'm going to play, and that's kind of how I'm going to build my lineups. I'm going to play a lot of Zeke Elliott, a lot of Derrick Henry, some Dalvin Cook, and then some Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Last week I said, Clyde didn't catch a pass last week. I think the over-under, if it's set at 6 receptions for Clyde Edwards, I would take the over. So I think he's going to be catching the ball a lot. The LA Chargers are going to have a more competitive game for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think there's a chance that Patrick Mahomes hangs onto the ball a little bit longer and airs it out a little bit more. We know Clyde Edwards is one of the best pass catchers out of this rookie class, and that's why I'm going to play with him. A couple players that I'm going to call for bounce back weeks are going to be Austin Eckler, and I will play some Mark Ingram. Last week I played Mark Ingram and he let me down like crazy. I think they're going to go in a lot of hot hands kind of scenario in Baltimore. This Houston defense is really not good. Obviously Clyde tore them up. I do believe Mark Ingram can get in the end zone once or twice, and that's where it is to pay off. I think I would have him at around 54 yards, 1 or 2 touchdowns, and that's going to be enough for me to play Mark Ingram. Austin Eckler, if you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to beat them with a pass catcher out of the backfield. I might be alone on that. If you don't want to play Austin Eckler, I don't blame you. He's a guy that is not doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies, if you know what I mean. But I went with him last week. I still believe in the talent, and I think they will use him. They also paid him in the offseason. The Chargers will use him more and more. One guy that I like that's sneaky that I don't think a lot of people are going to play, but I do enjoy at $6,000, that's going to be Miles Sanders. He's coming off that injury, but camp reports are good. They play the Rams. The Rams can be run on. Even though Aaron Donald is an absolute machine, I still believe Miles Sanders can play. I don't think he's going to be played that much. So to recap, we have Zeke at 8,200, Derrick Henry at 7,900. I like Dalvin at 76 and Clyde Edwards at 74. I'm going to go down the list now and play Austin Eckler at 6,500, Miles Sanders at 6,000, and I will go with Mark Ingram at 54. Now, I didn't talk about yet the belle of the ball for week 2, and that is going to be Jonathan Taylor at $5,700. He is kind of a must play. You have to play Jonathan Taylor. He's going to get the bulk of the workload. I would not play Nyheim Hines. I would play Jonathan Taylor. The upside alone is going to be fantastic. They play Minnesota. That defense is terrible. Like I said with my stacks, I'd be playing Jonathan Taylor in about 80% of my lineups, and you can put him with a Zeke Elliott or with a Derrick Henry, and right away I think your team is going to cash. Especially if you're playing especially in a cash lineup where the top half get paid, starting with 2 running backs like that, I think it's just a really good start to your lineup. And Jonathan Taylor is going to has a ton of upside. I could see him get in the end zone a couple times with 8 or so receptions on the week. So that's going to be amazing for Jonathan Taylor, and not so for Nyheim Hines owners that just picked him up. All right, let's skip over to the wide receivers. This one, again, I'm going to be playing Hopkins with my Kyler Murray stacks. Devontae Adams, I don't have in any lineups, but I still believe he's too cheap. He's too cheap against Green Bay. I know they have a great corner that they drafted, Jeff Okudah, but Devontae Adams is still phenomenal. I need to make more lineups, and they all need to have Devontae Adams in him. He should be priced like Michael Thomas was. Devontae Adams could easily be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football. So I don't mind if you go to the top. Just he might not be that high owned because he's the most expensive. A lot of people like to scroll down and save a little bit. I don't mind if you play Ridley. He's fairly priced. I would say at $6,800. I'm playing some Tyreek when I'm playing Mahomes. I'm gonna go down this list. Mike Evans is questionable. He's been hurt. All that receiving core is banged up. Chris Godwin is not expected to play, or is a game time decision. I'm not going to play, obviously, Chris Godwin. And 6,400 for Mike Evans is a pretty good deal. If he's healthy, it's not bad. Carolina's secondary is really bad. Scotty Miller is a guy that's going to be very popular. I'm not going to play him. I think he's going to be kind of a trap play. But there we go. Marquise Hollywood Brown, I'm going to play at $6,200. I'm going to play DJ Chark at $6,000, even though Tennessee defense is also a good play. I will also play some Terry McLaurin at Atlanta, and I'm going to play a lot of Michael Gallup in that matchup. I think he's a really good safe play. You don't have to pay up for Amari Cooper, but you can pay down for Michael Gallup. He was a little bit underperformed week 1. He disappointed a lot of owners, but I do think that $5,600 is a very fair price for Michael Gallup. Last week I liked Lazard. I didn't stack him with Rodgers, and that was my mistake. I believe he wants people $1 million. I like that matchup, especially if for some reason Devontae Adams gets shut down. And I'll play some Anthony Miller at New York Giants. That's a really good matchup. Two guys that are going to be very highly owned. That's going to be Darius Slayton and Diontae Johnson. Both of those guys are going to be very highly owned. They're priced right around the same. And I do believe that if you want to fade them, I don't blame you. They're $5,000 right now. But I don't... You're gonna have to be the judge of that, whether you play Slayton or let me see, where's Diontae Johnson? Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm my mistake. Diontae Johnson and Paris Campbell are going to be two very highly owned wide receivers, both at $4,500, so the same price. And I like Paris Campbell a lot. I think that's another really good stack if you want to go with Rivers, Taylor, Paris Campbell. I think that's a really good stack. Otherwise, I do like playing Diontae Johnson on his own against Denver. We're not sure how it's going to work. How Juju, I'm not expecting Juju to score a couple more times. I didn't actually catch that game, but I heard Deonte was balling out. But he just let people down a little bit because James Washington was the one that scored the touchdown in that game. So, but I do like Diontae Johnson. Christian Kirk is going to be a bold play if you want to play a guy that is coming off a bad game as well. At tight end, guys. All right. I'm going to go with Hunter Henry is a good one. This is a PPR game, DraftKings, so I don't mind playing Hunter Henry. I'm going to go down. I'm going to play some Jonnu Smith. I'm going to keep going down. I'm going to play some Dalton Schultz, and that's gross, but that's part of that matchup. I'll also play some Logan Thomas. I need to pay down at the I'm going to pay down at the tight end spot because I want to pay up everywhere else. So that's where my savings is going to be. Chris Herndon at $3,400, I believe, is going to be very popular. But that New York Jets offense is going to be so bad with everyone missing time. Crowder's not playing. It's going to be, obviously, Lev Bell's on IR. It's going to be really gross. I think Herndon is a sneaky play just because who else is he going to throw it to? For DSTs, I'm going to be quick about DSTs. Again, I'm going to go down the list a little bit. I don't mind Miami. Miami at Buffalo is a sneaky play at $2,100. That's paying down. That's when defenses don't matter. If Josh Allen throws an interception or a pick six, that's when it could pay off for you. Next, I would potentially look at the Colts as well. If Kirk Cousins can get sacked, I think that's a nice chance for the Colts to pay up. Otherwise, I'll play Tampa Bay against Carolina, and I will play the Titans against Jacksonville. $3,500 there. I don't mind if you want to pay up for the Bills, but again, that's expensive. So we're in for 14 minutes. I'm going to do a live lineup. Let me jump into the Millionaire Maker slate here. All right, guys. All right, this is it. There it is. $20. So after I talk to all you guys, I'm going to go with Rivers with my quarterback. All right, Phillip Rivers going at quarterback. I'm going to play Jonathan Taylor, and I'm going to play Paris Campbell. That's how I'm going to start my lineup. And for my running back, I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook. So that's how I'm going to play it back. It's going to be maybe a higher risk option. If you don't mind going with a guy like Adam Thielen or Olabisi Johnson or Justin Jefferson. I don't mind doing that, but I think I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook because for me, he's one of the safer options. They just paid him. They're going to want to get him touches, and they're going to want to get him hopefully catching the ball out of the backfield. So I'm going to start at my DST. I'm going to go down and play Miami at DST. Just get that out of the way. My flex, I want to play Zeke Elliott. I want a part of that matchup. I'm going to pay up for Zeke Elliott. Right now, you can see my lineup. I only have $5,300 left per player. So I have to pay down again. I'm going to pay down for tight end. We will go down to Chris Herndon. We'll try Chris Herndon out. It's a Millionaire Maker slate. I don't think Chris Herndon is going to be super, super popular in that matchup against San Francisco. I don't watch the game if you're going to play Jets. Just don't watch it. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be gross. But now I've got $6,300 left for my wide receivers. If I play Davante Adams, I have $4,500 left, and now I have another option. I'm going to play Diontae Johnson. Here it is, guys. That's my lineup. I have $0 left. I fit in Davante Adams in that lineup, and I'm thrilled about it. And I went to a guy that I liked already in Diontae Johnson that could fit in my lineup. So just to recap, Rivers stacked with Taylor and Campbell. I've got Dalvin Cook, Davante Adams, Diontae Johnson, Zeke Elliott, Chris Herndon, and then I've got the Miami Dolphins defense. I'm going to submit that lineup. And here we go. That's one of them I haven't done before. Those combinations I have not done yet. I did it live on the air talking to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Drop a like, drop a comment, and we will see you next time.